Hey guys, welcome to another video. I got you the Call of Duty Modern Warfare updates from the launch, a little bit of comparisons from the beta and stuff, but we just got you some information here to hopefully help you out. First off, let's start with the mini-map is on by default on a lot of the game settings. So another perk to that is now whenever enemies fire and your team has a UAV up, you're actually going to hear that. You know what I mean? You're going to see it on your map. So that's going to help you out. It's going to really give you a little bit of an advantage for, gameplay and stuff like that. One problem that we used to have, and we don't have anymore, thankfully, are multiplayer spawn points. You will no longer spawn on top of large groups of enemies or enemies in general at all. So they fixed that. That's a lot of help right there. 'Cause that sucks. You're spawning in just to get killed like immediately. Not only to feed the team, you know what I mean, and stuff like that, but it's just deterring to want to play because the game feels broken. They fixed that by adding more spawn locations, and they said that they are actually going to be continuing to add more spawn locations in. So, good news on that. Thanks for doing that, because that was just horrible in the beta. Moving on to visuals, we got the character brightness in dark areas, especially like the Azure Cave and stuff like that, or any like really dark area where people can camp out at. Character models have been brightened on there. That really helps out. That's gonna, let you get some frags and stuff like that. Also, too, the character nameplates will pop up a lot easier whenever you're actually targeting them, and you won't be able to have their character nameplates pop up through doors like you used to be able to, which is kind of like cheating, because then you can kind of see them, move left to right, or if they're just, peeking a corner or hiding on a corner. So that's been fixed. That's really cool. The one other thing we got is the low health. It's been brightened instead of darkened, so whenever you're on low health, low HP and stuff like that, your character screen is actually going to brighten and kind of give you a little bit of an advantage instead of dimming your lights and giving you more disadvantage for whenever you do die. It kind of turns like the screen like that grayish, like I'm almost dead color, and everything seems to be a little bit better. I remember when it darkened in beta, it was fairly annoying. Audio. This is a PC specific one right here, and then at the end I'll have a whole bunch of PC specific bug fixes, because this isn't really a bug. But the footsteps have been tied and tuned into the fallout distance, you know what I mean, to how far away the enemy is and stuff, and also to your volume and occlusion settings inside of your your audio settings on your PC. So make sure you check that. I should give you a little bit of an easier depiction of where they are, acoustically, instead of visually having to see them as they're running at you, and the footsteps aren't getting louder. Sorry, not louder. But yeah, this integration for audio and visual, it makes footsteps a lot easier to hear, in layman's. Let's see what we got for you on the kill streak side of the game. The VTOL can no longer target players through roofing, so that is very, very advantageous to people who are trying to go inside and not get killed from the roof. Which is weird that could happen anyways. I can understand like windows and stuff like that, but I remember playing a beta like, a cruise missile would even, you know what I mean? If it hit the roof just the right way, it would kill you, you know what I mean? Say you're just, peeking out a window, you know what I mean? And it hits you on the other side of the building, and it kills you, peeking out the opposite side, Very weird. So that's been fixed. Obviously, if you've been playing and you've been like grinding the game out and you've got the Juggernaut suit, you've seen this, but the Juggernaut suit used to spawn in crates and stuff like that. It still does, you know what I mean? But actually now the crates actually go to you, and the spawn of the Juggernaut suit will be where the crate's located at. You have more control over, getting your Juggernaut suit. It takes forever to get, because, you kill that many people and you don't get your suit, and, you waste your kill streak on it. That's a hard one to do, because it's a lot easier to kill people on this game. This means it's a lot easier to be killed in this game, no matter your skill level and stuff. So that's been fixed, and also to the UI with a mask for the Juggernaut suit will not, stay on after you die, after using the Juggernaut suit. So that helps out a lot. Another fix for stuff like that would be being stuck in the lean stance after doing the cruise missile. This does not occur anymore. Thank you for that, because that was a nuisance as well. Moving on to weapons, I won't go into specifics about weapons. I'm actually going to do a video on star rating, starting beginner, weapon type ordeals, with everything you're going to want to use as a beginner, so far getting set up, and then more advanced ones, and then, I'm going to create actually a star system for this, like, 1 to 5 stars for the weapons, and then I'm going to do it for every single weapon, and then I'm going to give you actual loadouts and stuff like that in the upcoming videos as more information gets gets released, then I will actually have a nice little system built for you guys. So you can get your starter weapons and then your more advanced weapons as those updates do come out. But here we go. Shotguns and pistols have had their aiming, fire rate, reload speed, their damage, recoil, and weapon swapping improved for the better. Obviously, so your weapon optimization can be a little bit more fine tweaked, for your secondary weapons. Enemy claymores, the lasers have been increased not only in their size but also in their brightness, so you can have your eye out for those because everybody knows running around a corner and getting blown up by claymores is the part of Call of Duty, but it's also a very annoying part. Maybe not as annoying as in Black Ops, but Call of Duty Black Ops 4 was because you can barely see those, but it's still fairly annoying in this game. Resurrecting a teammate, also too, around a friendly claymore can still blow you up, but I think they've gone to lengths to fix that. I've had reports, they say that they fixed it, but I've had people tell me that that's not the case. First-hand experience, don't have any for that. I've never had the issue to begin with, but I usually stay away from claymores when I'm resing anybody, friendly or whatever with that, right? So the only other thing we got going on so far as weapons go, that's very generalized and not weapon specific, are the sound adjustments to enemy fire and weapon fire, and also executions. And this will help you hear everything that's going on and judge distance the enemies from you. If you hear like some ricochets like out the buildings next to you, you'll be able to tell like the direction that they come from without getting hit first, which can really improve your gameplay, especially if you're trying not to get killed because you tell the way the bullet's coming from, you can tell which way to duck from. uh, Other than that, we got the distance of enemy fire is sometimes hard to judge, but most of the time it's not. It's really faint. You obviously know that there's a great distance between you and the enemy firing, but it doesn't tell you exactly what type of weapon that they're using, especially with the the integration of people leveling up now, suppressors and and stuff of that nature. So just paying attention to the sounds and noises they make, and then getting your own brain like its own little library of the way things sound will, and definitely increase your gameplay. So just keep that in mind. So far as specific weapon adjustments, there's not really any that are insane. All the weapons have been tweaked for the better, if you ask the game developers and stuff like that, and I would agree. I remember back in the beta it was like the MP5, the FAMAS, and M4 were kind of like just the bread and butter, which hasn't necessarily changed as much, but you can also see a lot of P90 use coming into point right now, because the P90 is pretty fucking nuts, with the customizations and things of that nature. So if you run across that problem with the P90, you probably know that. But there has been something with the shooting on all weapons that was kind of annoying, and that was whenever you try to shoot through like the slits inside of fencing, or now you can peek doors and stuff, and and shooting through peek doors would have been almost impossible. But now you can shoot through those little gapes, in the graphics, and not have your bullets get stopped. So that's a really cool thing. You know what I mean? Even like stairs and stuff like that, you can shoot through the little slits in the stairs, and it's not considered full cover, because you can see through it. You should be able to shoot through it. Agreed? Agreed. But those bullets are no longer blocked. Let's move on to some of the perks and field upgrades and stuff like that. And there's only 3 of them really that have been changed since beta. The munitions box, when it explodes, that radius has been reduced. So if somebody blows it up near you and you're hiding behind, like say like a corner or something like that, it's not going to blow up and kill you as easily as it would have. So another thing with the munitions box is you have to actually use it. So you got a prompt. You get prompt to use it instead of just going and running over it and automatically having it fill up your stuff. So you have to press the use key. It does not auto loot anymore. The recon drone, now players and vehicles can be marked now. So that is something that is brand new and that you can do, as of the launch. So you can use your recon drone not only to mark players that are in other areas, but also to mark them, what I mean, while they're inside of vehicles. There's another thing cool with vehicles. If you stay tuned, you can check that out. I'm going to get to that in just a second. We are going to be moving on to bug fixes. Now, bug fixes are probably the most important part of any news update, so I'm going to go through these a little bit more concise. In the gunsmith, the descriptions for things have been fixed. I remember like the barrel, for like a bored barrel and stuff like that, it wouldn't really explain what it did. Well, now the descriptions in the gunsmith and the armory and stuff will tell you more of what the board barrel does. I don't have that, so I haven't been able to read the description, but you pay attention to that and it'll give you more information on what you're trying to figure out instead of being very vague and actually wrong in some instances. Moving on from there, the impact of, say, somebody throwing a lethal or a throwable at you, or just like being hit with something that's considered a lethal or a tactical weapon, can no longer kill you. So you won't get one shot by being hit in the head with a fucking grenade, or somebody plants a claymore right on top of you. It won't cause super damage, you know what I mean, and kill you instantly. So that's a good fix, because let's say it's not lethal damage, in any game. It's just fucking weird. Door opening. Sometimes you'd open doors and they would open towards you instead of away from you like a normal door would, and that can get you super killed, especially if it pushes you behind something or opens up a door, you know what I mean, to where an enemy can just shoot you and you can't shoot them back because half your character's stuck in the door. Another cool fix is the deployable cover. It no longer blocks your team members. So whenever you go up a staircase or something like that, you can't block a team member off because they used to not be able to, in some instances, jump over, you know what I mean, or even get near your deployable cover. It would block them off like a roadblock. So that has been fixed. You're no longer able to snake by spamming crouch anymore. So snaking was something, you know what I mean, that I don't really see as an advantageous, effect, because it's very hard to shoot and snake at the same time unless you're really good. But it can throw off, an enemy's, especially a long-range enemy's shot when they're trying to track you with it and hit you with, maybe a sniper round. So I guess that was a necessary fix. Also with the drop shots, I'll get to that in a sec. They did fix that, which is thankful, because I hate drop shotting. I know it's a part of Call of Duty, it's an old part, people love it, but they did fix that, and now it had to do with the animations. Moving on to PC specific changes, and here it is. Drop shotting. It's the going prone and crouching. You don't have to do that step anymore. You don't have to crouch and then go prone to be able to drop shot anymore, which was something that was really weird in the beta. But now whenever somebody does go from standing to fucking prone, it takes a little longer. It's not like if you remember in Black Ops 4 or any other Call of Duty title, like whenever they drop shot, you know what I mean, they automatically hit the floor and then they can shoot up at you without changing, you know what I mean, pretty much their aiming or any of that stuff. So the animations have been fixed on that, and it's been smoothed out, but it does give drop shotters a slight disadvantage compared to giving them a super advantage to somebody who doesn't know about drop shotting, which can be very annoying for them. Blurriness has been fixed in non-applicable situations. So like blurriness, obviously, if you get hit with a splash grenade or a stun grenade, you know what I mean, or you've fallen or you've been shot in the head, you know what I mean, blurriness should happen, you know what I mean. But if you're getting like meleeed or something like that, blurriness might still happen on that, but cruise missiles, blowing up way far away from you and stuff like that shouldn't cause blurred vision, or white phosphorus or any of that stuff shouldn't cause blurred vision whenever it happens out of a certain distance. It should only happen things that happen within the proximity of your character, now at least. Also, the depth of field has been integrated in the graphics option, as well as the high density resolution, HDR, is now on the PC version of Call of Duty. And depth of field has been integrated in that as well, so it can give you a little bit more of a graphics boost for you high-end users. The aiming down sight transition has been smoothed out, so I've noticed this a lot. When you aim down sights, as you can see just right there, it's very, very quick. It's smooth. It's not like, you know what I mean, it doesn't take you, extra millisecond to go through, which will allow you to, kick some fucking ass really fast and put your, your, not only your ADS settings, but your your visuals to test and be able to whack some kids without having to, get waxed yourself. Because, being a nerd, no one wants to get waxed. I'm trying to do being a Paris Hilton movie. Right. So moving on. Stand to prone timing has been adjusted for keyboard and mouse compared to the gamepad. And this is PC only, so remember we're talking about the PC still. So all y'all like to plug your gamepads in. The keyboard and mouse, you should have more of the, smoothness and all that stuff that a PC player has with the keyboard and mouse while using a gamepad on the PC. That's why we all like to play PC with these first-person shooter games, specifically Call of Duty titles, is because it does give us a slight advantage. So having the gamepad on there is going to give you a slight advantage even more. Um, the sprint functionality, I know this is a big one with a lot of people. By holding down the sprint keybind with the move keybind while respawning would sometimes make it to where you could not sprint. And not being able to sprint in Call of Duty, you might as well just be dead. Just blow yourself up with a grenade and become somebody's, new target to shoot at and to get your sprint back, because that is just such a paramount important gaming feature. Because unless you're a camper and stuff like that, which you've seen, I've been kind of camping this area in this video, this part of the video. um, it's it's necessary, man. You can't just like not sprint on Call of Duty. I mean, I don't like to camp, you know what I mean? But whenever I'm rushing, I got an MP5 and stuff like that, and I'm going gung ho, man, I got to be able to move. I got to be able to move fast. I'm going to get the perk for the 30% increase in tactical sprint and all that stuff. So that's been fixed. Thank God. Field of view settings. Okay, the slider has been reverted to default in many cases whenever people would rejoin a different map. Now, if you know, like, your field of view is very important. Most people play with it maxed out unless it starts to distort their screen, which all depends on your screen, your resolution, your monitor, all that stuff. But having it revert to once you get that perfect setting is just another 30 seconds you don't want to spend, possibly getting fragged out, or, missing the queue, or, not picking the right loadout because you had to mess with your slider every time you joined a new map. Speaking of new maps, and this is off subject, while we're still on the PC specific changes, there are two things I want to touch on, and that's the voice chat for cross-platform has been fixed. That there will be Xbox, PS4, and PC voice chat, in-game on Call of Duty. So you will be able to talk to your people without having Discord. We all know Discord doesn't really work with PS4 and Xbox users all the time. Some people like to use their Xbox Live components. Some people like to use their PlayStation 4 network components to talk to their friends. But if you have people who play on all of these different platforms, you are going to be able to talk to each other now, and that could be a little frustrating because this is a very, very communication intensive game, and you want to have your buddies be able to understand what you're doing and where you're going, and they want to be able to understand you. So that fix is really fucking good. Good job on that, guys, because that's one of the first integrations of that, you know what I mean, in a Call of Duty game. So they've done it on a few other titles, you know what I mean, but we won't get into that. The other thing is joining a party, and I know they fixed this a long time ago, but joining a party sometimes, whenever you left a match lobby, you would have to reform the whole entire party again, which is annoying. It's very easy in here as long as you have everybody's Activision ID set up, you know what I mean, because scrolling through your Battle.net friends can be kind of a pain in the ass trying to get some Call of Duty players going on. If you're anything like me, you've got 200, 300 friends on your fucking, Battle.net list, and you just want to, play with the people who have Call of Duty installed. So now you can just invite people separate from the Battle.net with your Activision IDs. But your party won't be disbanded whenever you join a new map, so you won't have to keep, re-inviting your friends and stuff like that. Sorry to spend so much time on that, but that was a very, very important and necessary addition. Okay, back to the last of the PC-specific changes. The double tapping on your joysticks for the gamepad, it now always triggers a tactical sprint, and that's with your PC gamepad. So playing your controller on there, it's not applicable to keyboard and mouse settings. And then the last part for the PC bug fixes, we have the ADS sensitivity can now be saved with your keyboard and mouse, which I don't remember when it couldn't be, but I guess now it can be. So yeah, woohoo. Alright, moving on to Ground War. So Ground War is going to finish out this video. So if you don't really care for Ground War, I know some of you guys just, if I want to play that, I'd play Battlefield 5. Ground War's pretty cool. So here we go. Here's the last news you got for Ground War. There are increased fallback spawns, the fobs, where there are too many enemies when there are too many enemies on a flag. So, if you have like a bad spawn, coming up, it's gonna give you options to spawn elsewhere, maybe like within the same proximity, but a little bit further from there. Also, too, there is another, integration with a safety check for spawning on squads. You know what I mean? on your squad. Obviously, your squad mates, it's going to tell you, the UI now is going to tell you that there is a danger, you know what I mean, with spawning in this area. So pay attention, wait for that pop up, you know what I mean, and if it looks like it's a little bit too shady and your buddy's telling you it's a little too shady, you know what I mean, or you can tell by his life bar or whatever, you know, just move to the next spawn point and try to make a different strategy to be able to knock that out. Moving on from that, spawning on squads that are in vehicles. So your squad mates that are in vehicles has been added. So now your buddies, if they're in a vehicle, you are not going to get screwed out of that, being able to spawn with them and ride with the vehicle, you know what I mean? For the tank and the heli, that can be really cool to be able to get in there. Neutral tanks and helis also now can show up on the spawn selection screen, so you're not going to be blocked off from being able to see those, so you can get in one even faster, especially if a couple of you die and you want to get into one real quick. Boom, there you go, that's in. Helicopters do have flares now, and they deter incoming missiles, so big score for the helicopters. If all flags are captured by one team, you will now go into DEF CON to win. So fighting on the flag and protecting the flag is very, 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 very important now. And also too, they fixed, last but not least, obviously this is the biggest one, the spawn exploit for map spawning on Ground War. Everybody knows, don't act like you don't, that you could spawn under the map in Ground War. You can no longer do this. So with that, I want to say thank you for watching. Check out Chimera87 on Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook, all the socials. I'm actually starting up my Instagram, and it is going with the disappearance of no other than myself, Chimera. You can join the Discord by joining the Twitch, typing !Discord, getting a link. I'm actually going to drop a link for it that doesn't expire in the description, so you can get in there all the way till October 31st at 7 p.m. The last clue will be dropped for this contest. You can win yourself some double EXP for Call of Duty Modern Warfare, and you can also win yourself some Twitch sub boosts. If you're a tier 1 sub, I'll give you tier 2, I'll gift it to you. If you're tier 2, I'll gift you tier 3. If you're already tier 3, I will gift you a movie. A movie? That's right. Any movie you want to see in your city, just let me know. So jump on there, make sure you're signing up for that. And if you did like this video, like and subscribe, because I am doing more videos of your favorite games constantly. I will not forget about the new games, the big titles that come out. I will be putting them on here, and I'm going to start creating contests and giveaways for every game that comes out that I play. Now the only other thing I can say is to drop comments, you know, and maybe drop some links to your clips and other videos maybe that you have. I'm always about supporting other streamers and supporting, you know, the network of, you know, video and content creators. Man, I love to get ideas from other people. Love to see other people's content. And if you have content that you want featured in these videos, you know, send it over. All right, thanks for watching, and I'll see you the next time.